If you enjoy this video, please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you like what you see on my channel and would like to support me on Patreon, click on the link below. Doctor Who was first broadcast on BBC TV on Saturday the 23rd of November in 1963 and was the first 4-part Doctor Who serial titled An Unearthly Child, lasting until the 14th of December of 1963. Doctor Who was originally intended to appeal to a family audience as an educational show using time travel as a means to explore scientific ideas and famous events in history. But the weekly show would evolve into one of the most iconic science fiction shows on TV. For more original ideas for the show, the BBC hired writer Terry Nation to write a story titled The Mutants. He would proceed to write the script about alien life forms called the Daleks, along with a race called the Tals, who are victims of an alien neutron bomb, which would turn both these races into slaves of the aliens. But Nation would drop this idea and make the Daleks the alien aggressors. The script was presented to the studio heads at the BBC, but was immediately rejected as the BBC didn't want their programs to feature bug-eyed monsters. According to producer Verity Lambert, there wasn't a lot of choice in stories. They only had Nation's Dalek serial ready to go, so the BBC decided on Nation's Dalek idea, which would become the second Doctor Who serial, originally titled The Mutants, but changed to the Daleks. To the surprise of the BBC, the Daleks would become the Doctor Who series' most popular characters. With the Doctor Who series' incredible success in the UK, Amicus Productions, a British film production company based at Shepperton Studios in England, would approach the BBC and offer writer Terry Nation £500 to start on a story for a Doctor Who feature-length film. Amicus would also want 2 sequels to follow. The story would be based on the Doctor Who television serial, The Daleks. The screenplay for the film would credit the producer at Amicus, Milton Subotsky, and Doctor Who writer David Whittaker for additional material added to the script. Terry Nation agreed to license his teleplay to Subotsky only if script editor Whittaker would write the adaptation. The film version would have many differences from the TV series, and many changes were made to the main characters. For instance, in the film, the Doctor is a human scientist, rather than the Doctor in the TV series, who is an alien time traveller from the planet Gallifrey, although the backstory had not been created when the film was made. Other notable changes in the film version was that William Hartnell from the series did not play the Doctor. Instead, they got a well-known actor, Peter Cushing, for the role. Another change is that Doctor Who has 2 grandchildren, Susan and Barbara, where in the TV series only Susan is related to the Doctor. Actor Roy Castle plays Ian, who is granddaughter Barbara's boyfriend. Barbara is played by Jenny Linden. The characters Ian and Barbara in the series were actually both teachers working at the same school. The film would not follow in the ongoing storylines of the TV series. Elements from the program are used, especially the Daleks and the TARDIS. The Daleks were redesigned for the film with larger base sections, which made them much taller and imposing than the TV Daleks, who were just 5 feet tall. In the film, they had large red dome lights, and some were fitted with a 2-jawed mechanical claw instead of a plunger. They also had a more colourful look. After the principal photography of the film was finished, the movie Daleks were used in the 1965 TV series of Doctor Who in the serial titled The Chase, before the film was even released. Originally, the Daleks in the film were going to be armed with flamethrowers, but these were vetoed out due to health and safety because the producers believed that Daleks would be way too frightening for a young audience. Instead, the guns were producing jets of CO2 gas from internally mounted fire extinguishers. Actors Barry Ingham and Jeffrey Toone would not only play roles in the film, but have major roles in the series of Doctor Who. Ingham would play Paris in The Mythmakers, and Toone was Hapesh in The Curse of the Peladon. In 1972, Gordon Fleming would be hired as the director of Doctor Who and the Daleks. He was known for his work as a director and producer for many TV shows, most notably the cult TV show The Avengers. Doctor Who and the Daleks was filmed in beautiful Technicolor and would be the first Doctor Who story to be made in colour and filmed in a widescreen format. The main storyline revolves around a scientist, Doctor Who invents a time machine and along with his granddaughters Susan, Barbara and a boyfriend, Ian, travel to the planet Skaro, who along with a race called the Tal, join forces and fight against the Daleks. Although the planet where the action takes place is not named in the movie, it is identified as Skaro in the film's sequel, Daleks Invasion Earth, 2150 AD. Principal photography started at Shepperton Studios, England, in April of 1965 and lasted 6 weeks. The film was produced on a budget of £180,000. Actress Roberta Tovey, who played Susan, who was 11 when the film was produced, was paid by director Fleming a shilling every time she did a scene in one take. She ended up with a big amount of money by the end of production. During the production, there was only a handful of Dalek operators, so dancers were hired to play stunt Daleks in the big battle scenes where many Daleks were needed. Many of the sets at Shepperton Studios are impressive, including the petrified forest, where the TARDIS first lands. There are many basic-looking props and sets, but they work for the film. Actress Yvonne Antrobus, in post-production, was unavailable to redub her voice, so they replaced her voice for her character Diona with a different voice by an unnamed actress. So when you see Yvonne on screen, it is not her voice in the film. The Dalek's voice was recorded by voice actor David Graham, who is also best known for being the voice actor of Parker in the Gerry Anderson series Thunderbirds. The film premiered in London on the 23rd of August 1965. In promoting the film, a squad of Daleks were hired to appear at the Cannes Film Festival. Single Daleks also made an appearance, all the way in Sydney, Australia, at a cinema. The film was released in the UK the same week as Mary Poppins, which was one of the top box office hits of the year, while in the US, Doctor Who and the Daleks wasn't the hit they had hoped for, but this was mainly due to the Doctor Who series being relatively unknown. In the promotion of the film, Dell Comics published a comic book adaptation of the film in 1966. Reviews were mixed. One critic recently said about Doctor Who and the Daleks, certainly an uneven affair. Some scenes still have the capacity to thrill. Others, like the final victory over the Daleks, feel rushed and flat. The Doctor's granddaughters are largely one-dimensional, but the aspect of the movie that most antagonises purists is Cushing's Doctor. The critic described the film as having a wonderfully pulpy sci-fi atmosphere, saying, "The highlight of the movie is its look. Many of the sets are impressive, and the movie Daleks are more impressive than their small-screen counterparts." After the movie and the sequel, Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD, Peter Cushing was actually offered the role of the Doctor in the Doctor Who television series many times, but he declined, a decision he would later regret years later. In 1975, Tom Baker, who played the Fourth Doctor in the TV series, commented when he was asked if they should do a third film by saying, "There have been 2 Doctor Who films in the past, both rather poor. There are many dangers in transporting a television series onto the big screen. A lot of things that you could get away with on the small screen wouldn't wash in the cinema." Doctor Who and the Daleks has been widely derided and criticised by fans and critics over the years. It's not the perfect film, and probably should have been more loyal to the series. Although I enjoyed watching Peter Cushing as the Doctor, the studio wanted a big-name actor like Cushing to appeal to a worldwide audience, a decision which actor William Hartnell, who played the TV Doctor, was not too pleased about, because he wanted to play the Doctor in the feature film. The supporting actors are fine, though at times their acting can come across very wooden in parts. The film manages to be very exciting from the very beginning. The effects are not that bad and the sets look good, considering they had a very small amount of money to work with. And the Daleks are of course very cool to see, especially in vibrant Technicolor. My name's Jonathan. Thanks for watching.